Assalamu alaikum student. I'm your maths teacher from IYS school. So let's start our today's class. Okay. So here we start. Today we will study geometry. And first I like to share some instruction. Don't raise hand during teaching. Ask a student at the end of the teaching. Ask questions at the end of the teaching. Use hand-free if you are using mobile and headphones for computer use. Treat your ID and password properly with your name and class. Take care of time for attending the class. Home task should be done in your fair copies of the subject. If there is any disconnectivity during the teaching, try to join again with 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so today's topics are basic concepts of geometry, angles, kinds of angles, parallel and intersecting lines, perpendicular, adjacent angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, vertical angles, and important positions about parallel lines. So basic concepts of geometry. So first we discuss point. Point has no dimension. It is denoted by a small dot. As you can see in a diagrams, in a picture that we have mentioned a small dots which is indicated by a capital letter A, B, P, C. So these are called points. Okay. Points has no dimensions means it does not has a length, breadth, and size. It is very small dot on the page. Okay. So take a screenshot and we will move toward the next term. So the next term is a straight line. A straight line is a set of points that it has one dimension. And what is that dimension? That dimension is called length. That is length. A line AB is denoted by its 2 points, either AB or BA. As you can see in a diagram, that we have placed the arrowheads over the both ends, so we can extend that line on both sides, and that line is denoted by that capital letter AB. Okay. So we take any 2 points on a straight line and we name that uh, points as A and B by any capital letters, and we can denote that straight line by this symbol, that AB. Okay. So do remember that the straight line can be extended on both the sides. Okay. So take a screenshot and we will move toward the next slide or term. That is line segment. A line segment is a line which has two endpoints. Okay. As you can see that we have two endpoints, that is A and B, and they so that is known as that part is known as a line segment because it has two endpoints, and the two endpoints can be given as A, B. As you can see that we can represent line segment by RS or SR. Any one endpoint can be written first. Okay. So we can write RS, we can write SR. Similarly, here is another line and we named as S and T. So we can write it as ST or TS. It is a definition of a line segment, that if a line has two endpoints, so it is known as a line segment. Okay, take a screenshot. Ray. A line segment produced endlessly in one direction is called a ray. As you can see that if a line has one endpoint and from the other side can be extended, so that type of line is known as a ray. Okay. So here we have one endpoint and we named it as B, and we take another point on a ray and we name as B. So how we represent how we denote a ray A as AB. Okay. Here you can see that we have another diagram. So the end point, so the capital letter which represent the end point, it should be come first. Okay, we cannot write it ray as BA. Okay, because B is not a end point, it is a point on the ray. Okay, so we cannot write it BA, we can write a ray as AB because the end point should be come at a first. Okay, take a screenshot and we will move further. Now here is the second term, next term, that is collinear point. So the points that lie on the same line, whether they are close together, far apart, or from a ray, line segment, or a line. The important point is that they are collinear. So co means together and linear means in a line. So if the points are on the same line, so that's points are known as a collinear point. As you can see that by the blue color we have indicated 3 points and they all are lie in a same line. So we can say that it is collinear point. Okay. These points can be far apart, they can be very close to each other, and they can be on a ray, they can be on a line segment or a line. Okay, the important point is that they must be in a same line. So the next point is collinear points. The non-collinear points, the points which do not lie on the same line, are called a non-collinear point. So here you can see that P, Q, and R are the points which are lie on a same line. Okay, but here we have another point A, B, and C, but they are not at a same line. So that why we are say that they are non-collinear points. Okay, if we pass a line from a and C and B. So they cannot form a straight line, and that's why we can say that they are non-collinear points. Okay, the points which do not lie on the same line are called a non-collinear points. Two points can be on a same point, can pass through a same line, but if it is a 3 points, so it can be collinear and it can be non-collinear. Okay, take a screenshot and we will move to the next topic. So the next topic is plane. A plane is a flat two-dimensional surface. Okay, a plane is a flat two-dimensional surface. If you can see on the walls of your room, so it is a flat surface. If you can see the top of the table, it is also a flat surface. So all the flat surfaces are considered as a plane, and in that flat surfaces we have two dimensions, and how it is length and a breadth, that are the two dimensions which is present on a plane. Okay, so plane is a flat two-dimensional surface that extend infinitely far, means you can extend plane on all the 4 directions. Okay, so we can say that it is a plane. The basic definition, the main important point is the plane is a flat surface and it is two-dimensional, that is length and breadth. So ABC is not a plane. As you can see that we have taken a point A, B and C. Okay, but A, C and D, A, B, C are collectively make a line. Okay, if you want to make a plane, so we must take a one point which is non-collinear. Okay, so A, B and D can also, A, B and D can make a plane, B, C and D can make a plane. So that's why we can say that a plane can be formed by a one non-collinear point. Take a screenshot and we will move further. Here are some examples of a plane. As I told you that plane can be extended on all the 4 directions. So the top surfaces of these 3-dimensional block, at the top surface, only the top surface of 3-dimensional block are considered as a plane, and that's why we have that's how we have a two-dimension plane surface. Here are circles, semicircle, quadrant, right angle, any types of triangle, any type of quadrilateral, any type of polygons, they all are flat surfaces and we consider it as a plane. Okay, take a screenshot. These are the examples of the plane. Coplanar lines. Coplanar lines are the lines that lie on a same plane. Okay, if the lines are lie on a same plane, so they are considered as a coplanar lines. Co means together and planar means in a same plane. Okay, here are the lines which are N and line N and line M, and they are placed on a same plane, and that's why we can say that they are coplanar lines. And here we have two different types of planes, and here we have a line L and in the other plane we have a line N. So they both are at a different plane, so we can say that they are non-coplanar line. Okay, so if the lines are present on a same plane, so we can say that they are coplanar lines, and if we are not at a same plane, so we can say that they are non-coplanar lines. Take a screenshot and we will move further. That is a parallel lines. Parallel lines are the two or the more lines which are going in the exact same direction. Okay, they can be in the same direction, can be in a opposite directions. But the important point are that they are at an equidistance from each other. Okay, they are at an equidistance from each other. As you can see that these three lines are a parallel lines, and here they are not a parallel line. As you can see that these are the, we can say that these are the convergent line. And why we can say they are the convergent line, because when we are move forward, so at after some covering distance, it will meet at a point. And divergent means initially they are collide with each other or intersect with each other, and if we are move forward, they were at a large distance. And intersecting means lines if the two lines are intersect with each other. So these are non-parallel lines and these are parallel lines. Okay, at any time convergent and divergent lines, if you consider the convergent divergent lines, so here the distance are greater, and when we move further on the line, so the distance will be less. So these are non-parallel lines. Okay, so the important point is for the parallel lines is that they are at a equidistance, same distance apart from each other at all the times. Okay, take a screenshot and we will move toward the other lines that are collinear rays. Rays means when the points of the two rays all lie on a same line. Okay, when the two rays are lie on a same line, so it will consider as a collinear rays. You can see that DR is the first ray and DA is the second ray, and they both are collinear rays because they are lie on a same line. Okay, now the second is angle. Constructing angle, two non-collinear rays that share the same endpoint from an angle. As you can see that we have two non-collinear rays. Okay, we have two non-collinear rays. Non-collinear rays means they are not at the same line. So if we take two non-collinear rays and the endpoint of these rays must be coincide with each other, so the angle is formed. Okay, if we take two non-collinear rays and the end point of these rays are coincide with each other, so the angle is formed between the two rays. So the point where the rays intersect is called a vertex. So that point, that end point which share both rays, so that end point is considered as a vertex. Or we can say that it is a common end point of both the rays. Okay, so the point where the rays intersect is called the vertex of the angle. The rays are called the sides of the angle. So these rays are called the sides of the angle. We take any point on a ray and named it as A, and we take any point on a second ray and we named it as C. So AB and AC are the two rays, and the common endpoint of two rays are B. And we call that common point is as a vertex. Okay, so the rays are called the sides of the angle. Here you can see that the angle ABC or angle ABC. Okay, so how we denote the angle? To denote the angle, we must write the vertex at the middle of the 2 points. Okay, we can write A, B and C, or we can write angle C, B, A. This is the symbol of our angle. Okay, this is the symbol of our angle. And how we can write, denote the angle? We can write the angle as A, B and C. We have to place B in the middle of the two letters. Why we place it? Because B is the vertex. So vertex should be at the center of the two letters. So we can represent this angle as angle ABC, or we can represent this angle as angle CBA. Here we use the word angle and here we use the symbol of that angle. Okay, and we can also represent it as angle B. Okay, so these are the three types of notation through which we can represent an angle. So take a screenshot and we will move to the next slide. Here is another basic terms of the angle. As we have discussed that the two non-collinear rays are intersect at a same point, and that point is considered as a vertex. So the vertex is the common endpoint of the two rays. And how we can denote it? We can represent it by the symbol of angle, and angle ABC or angle CBA. The important thing is that you have to write a vertex at the middle of the two letters. Take a screenshot and we will move to the next slide. Okay, here are the types of the angle. So as you can see that first we have a acute angle. An acute angle that is less than 90 degree. If the two rays form a angle and that angle is less than 90 degree, so we can say that this is a acute angle. Right angle, an angle that is exactly 90 degree. Okay, here is the angle which is exactly 90 degree. Not more than 90, not less than 90. It's exactly 90 degrees, so we can say that it is a right angle. Okay, uh, and obtuse angle. Obtuse angle means the angle that is greater than 90 and less than 180. Okay, the angle which is greater than 90 and less than 180. So that angle is considered as a obtuse angle. It's very simple and easy that an angle that is less than 90 is acute angle, and exactly 90-degree angle is called a right angle, and the angle which is greater than the 90 degrees, so that and less than 180. Do remember it that it has some limits, that greater than 90 and less than 180. So it is known as a obtuse angle. Okay, take a screenshot of the slide. Okay, we are moving to the next slide. That is a straight angle, an angle that is exactly 180. Okay, so exactly 180 means not more than 180, not less than 180. It is exactly 180. So that angle is known as straight angle. Now the next is reflex angle. Reflex angle is greater than 180 and less than 360. Okay, how we get a 360 angle? If we draw a complete circle, so that complete circle represents a 360 degree, and the angle that is greater than 180 means it is if we extend this line, so this is represent 180 degree. Okay, so if the angle is greater than 180 and less than 360, okay, it is less than 360, so we consider it as a reflex angle. As you can see that here the measurement of the angle is 308. So okay, so it is less than 360, and that's why we can say that it is a reflex angle. It is less than 360. Take a screenshot of that two types of angle, straight angle and reflex angle. Straight angle is exactly 180 and reflex angle is greater than 180 and less than 360. Again, this reflex angle has the initial and final limits. So we are moving toward the next slide. Pairs of lines in a plane. So here we have intersecting lines. Lines that cross each other are known as intersecting line. As you can see that we have a line AB, and we have another second line that is PQ. And if the two lines are intersecting each other, so we can say that they are intersecting lines. And the parallel lines, lines that do not touch, they are always at a same distance apart. Do remember that for the parallel lines, one condition is very necessary, that they are at a same distance apart. Okay, at every point they are at a same distance. So that's why we can say that it is a parallel lines. Okay, so what is perpendicular lines? Perpendicular lines, that the lines that cross at right angles. Okay, first we consider line AB, and then we consider another line that is PQ, and the angle between these two lines is 90 degrees, so we can say that it is a perpendicular line. Okay, it is the symbol of, this is the symbol of perpendicular line, and this is the symbol of a parallel lines. So do remember that symbols which is used for the parallel lines, and that's the symbol which is used for the perpendicular lines. And I repeat that parallel lines are always at a same distance apart, and perpendicular lines means if the two lines make 90-degree angle with each other, so they are called perpendicular lines. They are at a right angle. Take a screenshot of this slide. Okay, here we have some exam which is state that according to that two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the third line. Two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the third line. through a given point, not a line, one and only one line can be drawn parallel to the given line. If we have two lines which intersect with each other, so both intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the third line, because as we have two parallel lines L and N, and we take another third line which is intersecting the line M. So if we extend that line, that intersecting line, so it again intersect the line L. So these two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the third line. The two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same lines. Okay. Take a screenshot of this slide. Now the next term is supplementary angles and a complementary angles. Supplementary angle and complementary angles are defined with respect to the addition and with respect to the addition of the two angles. Okay, supplementary and complementary angles are defined with respect to the addition of two angles. If the sum of the two angles is 180 degree, then they are said to be a supplementary angles. As you can see here, we have two supplementary angle, that the sum of these two angles is equals to the 180 degrees. So we can say that it is a supplementary angles. So supplementary and complementary angles are defined with respect to the additions of two angles. If the sum of the two angles is 180 degree, then they are said to be a supplementary angle. Here we have two adjacent angle and they are supplementary angles. So do you remember that what is adjacent angle? Adjacent angle means two angles which having a common arm and a common vertex. So here we have two angles, and in these two angles we have a common endpoint or a common vertex which is represented by a O, letter O, and a common arm is also present, that is OA. So these are the two adjacent angle, and if the sum of the two angle is 180 degree, okay, the sum of the two adjacent angles is 180 degree, then they are said to be a supplementary angles. Okay. So here we have two adjacent angles, and as well as the sum of these two angles is also equals to the 180 degree, and that's why we say that these are the supplementary angles. Take a screenshot. And we are moving toward the next term, that is complementary angle. When the sum of two angles is 90 degree, then the angles are known as the complementary angle. So here is the sum of two angles, and again they are adjacent angle. It has common vertex, it has common arm. So where is the common vertex? O is the common vertex, because the ray OB and OA have a common endpoint. So that is called the common vertex, and OD is the common arm, because when we mention this angle, 30 degree angle, so we mention is OD. So OD is included in that angle, and OD is also included in this angle, that is represented by DOB. So here OD is the common arm which is included in the angle 30 degree, and it is also included when we express the angle 60 degree. So that common arm is included in both the angles, and we represent it as complementary angle. So how we define complementary angle? When the sum of two angle is 90 degree. So the angles are known as the complementary angle. Okay, when the sum of two adjacent angle are 90 degree, so it is known as a complementary angle. Okay, when we add the two angles, it is always equals to the 90 degree. So take a screenshot and we will move toward the next topic, that is here we again revise complementary and supplementary angles, that the angle that up to 90 degree is called complementary angle. So here is the two adjacent angle which add up to 90 degree, and we called it complementary angle. And what is supplementary angle? There we have two adjacent angles with the common arm and the common vertex, and when we add them, it is also equals to 180 degree. So take a screenshot and we will move to the next slide. Okay, here we have a vertical angle. So what is vertical angle? If the two lines intersect with each other. Okay, if the two lines were intersect with each other, so we have four angles at all the corners of the line, and that angles are relate with each other. And how they relate with each other? So the pair of alternate angles are equal. If the two lines intersect each other, the pair of vertical angles so form are congruent. So here we form a two, by the intersection of the two lines it form four angles. Okay, it form four angles, and the angle 2 and angle 4 are opposite to each other. These opposite angle are also equal to each other. Angle 2 and angle 4 are opposite angle, and they are also equal to each other. Similarly, angle 1 and angle 3 are opposite angles, and it is also congruent, means equal in measurement. So we can say that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent, and angle 2 and angle 4 are congruent. Okay, I repeat that what is vertical angles? If the two straight lines intersect with each other, so it forms four angles, and a pair of opposite angles are congruent. So congruent means congruent means equal in measure. So angle 2 is equals to angle 4, and angle 1 is equals to angle 3. So these angles are called pair of vertical angle. Take a screenshot. We will move further. It's transversal. So what is transversal? If the lines which intersect two distinct lines, okay, the line which intersect two distinct lines. So here we have two distinct lines, that is L and M. L and M are the two distinct lines, and we take another line, that is a line T. We named it as T. So here we have a line L and we have a line M. Okay, and do remember that they are not parallel. Do remember that they are not parallel, but they can be parallel and they cannot be parallel. So here we have two lines L and they have two lines, other line M, and we take a third line, that is T, and this T line will intersect the first two lines at a distinct point, that is point A and point B. So we call that third line is as a transversal line. Okay, we have two lines L and the other line is M. So we have two lines, and we take another third line, and that line intersect these two lines, line L and line M, at a two distinct points, and these points is considered as a this line is considered as a transversal. So in a given figure, the T is the transversal to line L and M and intersecting these two lines at a point A and B. Take a screenshot and we will move toward the next one. I hope you will understand that what is transversal. Okay, so here we have some interior and exterior angle when the transversal is intersect the two lines. Okay, when the transversal is intersect the two lines, so we have some angle. So the angle which is formed in that portion, it is considered as an interior angle. So here we have an angle which is formed. Here we form another angle, and in this position we have another angle, and in this position we have another angle. So the angle which is formed in that positions are considered as a interior angles. Okay, and the angles which are formed at that position which is outside that line M, so that is considered as the exterior angle. And similarly, if we have another line, that is N, and we can see the angle which is formed outside the N, it is considered as the exterior angle. Okay, so take a screenshot. So we have some exterior angle and interior angle when the transversal intersect the two lines. Okay, so we have so many angles when the transversal intersect the two lines, and one by one we will discuss all of them. So first type of angle which we have by the transversal is that alternate angle. So how we get the alternate angle? Both are interior angles, means these are the angles, these are the pair of our angle which is interior. As you can see in a diagram that we represent the pair of angles with a different color. So the red color we indicate angle 2 and angle 3, and with the blue color we indicate angle 1 and angle 4. And if you can see that the angle 2 and angle 3, they both are formed interior, means inner side. So these are considered as an interior angle. So if the pair of angle fulfill all these four conditions, so we can say that it is alternate angles. Okay, so if we take one pair, that is angle 2 and angle 3, and we check that both are interior angle, yes, they both are interior angle. So both are on the opposite side of the transversal, yes, they are on the opposite side of the transversal. This is the same side of the transversal, and this is the same side of the transversal, but it is on the either sides of the transversal. So that's why we say that they are on the opposite side of the transversal. Okay, the next point are this: they are not adjacent. Okay, they don't have a common vertex. If the angle have a common vertex, so we can say that they are adjacent. But as you can see that angle 2 has this angle 2 common vertex is this one, and angle 3 common vertex angle 3 vertex is this one, and they we can say that they are not adjacent. So if the two lines are parallel, then alternate angles are equal. Okay, if the two lines, that is it's mean that if angle line M and line N are parallel with each other, so we can say that angle 1 is equals to, means it is congruent to angle 4, or we can say it is of same measurement, and angle 2 is of same measurement of angle 3, means the pairs of alternate angle is congruent. And when they are congruent, if the two lines are parallel, if the two lines are not parallel, so they are not congruent. Okay, that's how we indicate that which angle are alternate. If the angles fulfill all the conditions of the alternate angle, so we can say that it is alternate angle. So we are moving to the next one, that is corresponding angle. Okay, so one of them is the interior and the other is the exterior. Here again we have a transversal and the two lines. So we again indicate the pair of corresponding angle with the different colors. So as you can see that angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3, angle 7, angle 4 and angle 8 are the pair of corresponding angle. So first we check either these pairs fulfill the conditions. So first we take the first pair of angle, that is angle 1 and angle 5. So one of them is interior and the other is exterior. So as you can see that angle 1 is the exterior angle and angle 5 is the interior angle. Okay, it complete the first condition, and the second one is they are on the same side of the transversal. Yes, they are on the same side of the transversal. As you can see that they are on the same side of the transversal, and they are not adjacent. Yes, they are not adjacent. And how we can say that they both have a different common vertex, and that's why we can say that they are not adjacent. And if the two lines are parallel, so the corresponding angles are equal. So if these two lines, the lines which is indicated by the blue color, if these two lines are parallel, so we can say that angle 1 is equals to angle 5, means it is equal in measure, or we can say that they are congruent. So if the two lines are parallel, so they are congruent. And similarly, if we check angle 3 and angle 7, so it is also fulfilled that condition. And 2 and 6 is the next pair of corresponding angle, and 4 and 8 is the next pair of corresponding angles. Take a screenshot and we will move toward the next one. Here we have some other pairs of corresponding angle. Take a screenshot and it will help you to understand that how we can see that they are corresponding angle. If these pairs fulfill the conditions of the corresponding angle, so we can say that they are pair of corresponding angle. So the next one is the allied angle. So for the conditions for the allied angle is both are interior angle. As you can see that they we have indicate the angles with the different colors. So they both are interior. Yes, they are interior angles, and they both are on the same side of the transversal. Yes, you can see that they are on the both same side of the transversal. And the third one is that if the two lines are parallel, then the allied angle are supplementary. So if this two lines which is indicated by the red color, so if the two lines are parallel with each other, so we can say that these two angles, the sum of these two angles is equals to the 180 degree. Okay, if the two lines are parallel and it cut by the transversal, so the sum of these two angle is equals to the 180 degree, or we can say that they are supplementary angles. Take a screenshot and we will move toward the next one. Here we sum up the types of angle that is formed by the transversal, that is corresponding angle, alternate angle, and alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angle. So here we take a screenshot of that slide, and you can easily understand that a pair of interior and exterior angles that lie on the same side of the transversal and do not have a same vertex. So these are all the pairs which can fulfill these type conditions. So these are corresponding angle and these are alternate angles which fulfill all the conditions. So here is the home task. Do exercise 11.1 in the book, that is objective MCQs questions, so you have to do in your books. And exercise 11.2 do in the geometry copy. Question number 2 part 2 and 9, question number 3 part 2 and 9, and question number 4 you have to do one part of all the question number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You have to do one part from these questions, and question number 2 and question number 3 you have to do 2 parts, and you have to do all the works in your geometry copy. And exercise 11.1 you have to do in your books. Okay, so it is all from my side. Allah Hafiz.